All right, guys, we're heading to Bowling Green, Kentucky right now. I got lucky and I found something that I've been wanting for a long time, and we're gonna go down there and buy it. So it's basically gonna be for the orange car. We're gonna go down there and buy a 4.6 teksid block. I'm getting a pretty good deal on it. It's a standard bore. He said it's in good shape for 350 bucks. So I was like, well, hell, I can't pass that up. I understand we're on quarantine and all this bull crap right now, or I guess not really quarantine completely, but we're not fully locked down like some of you guys. So I'm gonna run down there to get that today, just in case that does happen. And then after that, I'll start doing my social distancing like I'm supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Heading down to Bowling Green to get that block. Got my buddy Gillen with me. Hey. He's over here making blow-off valve sounds with his freaking off-road vehicle. Yeah. Being silly. Talking about how he wish he would have bought a Pro Charger instead of a ECS kit. I think he'll be okay though once we get it all going. Done with it if I had. Yeah, possibly. The instructions probably would have been a little better. Alright, we succeeded. Got the engine. It's a little bit of rust on the walls, but nothing bad. Looks like it all cleaned up pretty good. Everything else looks great. Head back to the house. I also went ahead and bought the crankshaft as well. He had a Cobra crank. I figured why not. Went ahead and grabbed it. It's got a little rust on it, but not on the journal, so that's good. Now we're gonna head back on the road. Get the hell out of here. All right, guys, we got the engine block inside the shop. Got it set up on some wood here to keep it off the cold concrete floor. I also wiped down the cylinder walls and stuff with some transmission fluid from Amsoil, which, you know, it doesn't really matter what brand. Did the crank journals as well, did the counterbalances as well. I'm gonna get some trash bags and put some transmission fluid in a sprayer, and I'm gonna spray everything down and coat it really good. Same thing with the block. And I'm gonna get 2 trash bags to put over top of the block, and I'm gonna spray the inside of the bag with transmission fluid for the block and the crank, and I wanna tie it all up, seal it, so that way it doesn't rust. And then probably here before long, I'll be dropping the block off and the crank off and having it all checked out thoroughly from my machine shop, make sure it's all good. It looks good from the naked eye, from far as I can tell. It does have a little bit of surface rust. Let me go over here and grab the flashlight. Also, if you guys are in want a box, this box is perfect. US General, it's great. It's a, I think it's 48 inch or 44 inch. It's a perfect box for somebody starting out. It's a lot better than Snap-on junk. But if you look, crank journals and everything look pretty good. And the reason why I went ahead and bought this crank that day was, well, for one, I got a good deal on it. The guy was really nice. He gave me a good deal on the block as well. But the reason why I did it was because that's the crank that came in this block. This all came out of a 96 Cobra engine, which is why I really wanted it in the first place. That means I should have less issues with bearing clearances and all that stuff. Whenever I start putting bearings in it, the clearances should be pretty well on point. If not, it won't need a whole lot of work from the machine shop to make it perfect. The caps and everything all look really good. There's no rust on it. There's a couple of cylinders over here that have, as you can see, there's surface rust is all it is. That and there's a little bit worse, but it's not terrible bad. And there's a couple more that they have a little bit of rust on them. But I mean, honestly, from what I can tell, I did take a scuff pad to one of the cylinders just to see how easy it would come off. And that stuff's coming off real easy. I mean, you're not even really scrubbing or pushing down and it's just coming right off. There's no pitting or anything of the cylinder walls. So it all should be good. So the plan is, guys, is we're gonna take this block and that crank and we're gonna do 11-to-1 teksid setup. So it's gonna have 11-to-1 compression, Diptech pistons. It's gonna have the Monar H-beam rods, the Turbo Series rods. It's gonna have King bearings more than likely on the mains. If I can get, as long as I can get the full thrust on the bearing, that's what I'm gonna go with, instead of having a thrust washer and a bearing separate, which is really, you know, common on the mod motor stuff, but you can do a full thrust bearing on the back of these teksids, WAP blocks, and anemic blocks. But as of right now, King was the only one that was doing that, and you had to order 2 sets of different bearings to do it. And they currently do not have the bearing in stock that I need. And I don't know if they're going to keep it, or if they're going to even make it anymore. I'm going to call and try to find out if I can. If I can't get those, I'll probably try and see if Speed Pro, I think is what it's called. I'll see if they can't. Sealed Power is who does it, Speed Pro. So Sealed Power, and I'm gonna try to run their bearings because I think they may have that combination. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to check on them to get back with you on that. But we're gonna do those. I've already got the rod bearings. They are King. They're just the SI bearings, which what that means is it's just their stock replacement line. It may be SL, but I think it's SI. I got those from my buddy. So I'll probably call up Jesse's Garage and talk with Tommy Johnson and get him to order me a set of H-beam rods. And then I'll probably hit up my buddy. Well, I've already hit him up. I've got Cometic head gaskets coming for this. I'll probably just use it, but I'll probably get the ARP head studs and ARP main studs from him as well. But in the meantime, with the orange car, I got an idea and a plan. We're gonna keep it how it is. We're gonna run it with the motor. From what I say, it's just a little bit hurt. I mean, I don't think it's really hurt. It's just the rings never, I don't guess, sealed really well in it. And that's why we're only getting that 125 compression per cylinder, where I should be seeing somewhere around the 170 to 190 range. If I use the calculator on all of it, it says I should be at about 180 cranking. So I'm way off of that. Now I am gonna try on this car, a little sneak peek, hide that. But I'm gonna try on this car on using my compression gauge and see if it's just not my gauge. Now I did try a snap-on gauge on my car and it said the same thing, but I wanna double check again. So we're gonna keep everything the same like it is. We're gonna see how well it runs. And then we're gonna take the heads and the cams out of there, and we're gonna put the new HD secondary chains from L&M or AccuFab, probably AccuFab is who I'll go with because I like John, and throw it onto our new engine. And then we'll see what is the big difference between a healthy, good sealed up engine with 11-to-1 versus an engine that was a little bit not sealed up completely, 9.5-to-1 engine. I've heard if you go to Justin Starkey, I think he's made the comment that these mod motors make anywhere from like 80 to 100 horsepower per point of compression. And that's huge if that's the case, because we're gonna go from 9.5 to 11-to-1. So what is that roughly? You know, 9.5 to 10.5, we'll just say that's 100. So we'll just say 100 horsepower is basically what we're gonna go after here. 160, we'll say 160 because that'd be 80, 140, my bad. I get my math right in a minute. So about 140 is about what they think it'll be. And then this motor is also not really right. So I'm gonna say by the time all that goes on, we'll be somewhere around 180 to 200 horsepower difference with the same boost and stuff like that. Now, do I really believe that? Not really, but that's what they kind of say. And I'm a kind of, you know, I'm a show me to make me believe type guy. So we're gonna check that out. And I'm probably gonna order a J2 Fab intercooler for it as well. And we might do a back-to-back with that. And I've got some other stuff in the works, but I can't really let it out. I finally got some money going on, guys, and we're gonna be doing some big things. Like I said, we got this car here. We're gonna be doing a video on it, obviously. He's got a bunch of stuff going on with it. And then I think I'm gonna go visit my cousin probably, as long as this pandemic, whatever bullshit you wanna call it. Once it's over with, I'm gonna head up to the north side to Fort Wayne, visit my cousin, and then we're gonna go over a video with his car because he's done a bunch of stuff with it as well, suspension wise. I'm hoping to get all three of these cars together up at Fort Wayne and go run at Muncie. And then, you know, we can kind of have a big video day. But anyways, guys, that's all I want to do. Touch base with you. Got me a teksid. Hell yeah. I love it. And then we got our crank, Cobra crank. It all matches up. We shouldn't have no problems. So until next time, peace.
Hop in my car and a giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus.